Hi everyone, very good evening and welcome back to Crack Grade B. So now today we'll be starting MCQs on recovery and restructuring, right? So that is a broad heading, and in that we are going to talk about the income recognition, asset classification norms first, right? So we have segregated this in 2 days. So some MCQs we are going to do today, कुछ MCQs हम कल करेंगे, right? And these MCQs will be quick, these will be very factual, to the point. So let us start. Question number 1, just a second. Yeah. Question number 1 that we have is, which of the following does not fit into the definition of non-performing asset? Does not, they have asked you, right? So now let us look at the option. Interest or installment of principal remains overdue for a period of more than 90 days in respect of a term loan. The installment or principal interest thereon remains overdue for 3 crop seasons in relation to short duration crops. Installment principal interest remains overdue for 1 crop season in relation to a long duration crop, right? And the amount of liquidity facility remains outstanding for more than 90 days. So you have to identify which one of the following is not the correct one and not the correct thing that falls under the NPA. See this. So in relation to short duration crop, we are not allowing you the time period of 3 crop seasons. इतना तो हम आपको टाइम ही अलाउ नहीं करेंगे, राइट? सो दिस इज समथिंग विच वन इज द इनकरेक्ट. ये आपका इनकरेक्ट ऑप्शन है. व्हाट इज द करेक्ट ऑप्शन ओवर हियर? लेट अस सी दैट. सो नॉन परफॉर्मिंग एसेट इज अ लोन और एडवांस for in relation to a term loan 90 days. Account remains out of order in respect to overdraft or cash credit. Bill remains overdue for a period of 90 days. Installment remains overdue for two crop seasons for short duration crop. अगर 2 crop season के लिए भी overdue रहता है, then we are going to classify this as an NPA और आपको benefit जो है वो नहीं मिलेगा 3 crop seasons का. So that is why option number 2 was incorrect. Now let us see this. A CCOD account shall be treated as out of order. कब हम इसको out of order treat करेंगे? Let's see this. So outstanding balance remains continuously in excess of sanctioned limit for 90 days. Outstanding balance remains continuously in excess for 180 days. It remains continuously in excess of for 45 days and 360 days. So clearly a pretty easy question. 90 days is the limit. 90 दिन की आपकी limit है. So if a cash credit or overdraft will be labeled as out of order if it remains in excess for a continuous period of 90 days. Now next is any amount due to the bank under any credit facility is overdue if it is not paid. कितने दिन के अंदर अंदर हम कब इसको overdue मानेंगे? आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट द एनपीए. रिमेंबर दैट मैं एनपीए के बारे में बात ही नहीं कर रही हूँ. आई एम टॉकिंग व्हेन आई एम गोइंग टू कंसीडर दिस एज ओवरड्यू. सो if it is not paid on the due date, most of the times we generally confuse everything in relation to NPA with 90 days. ठीक है, बहुत बार हम 90 days से ही confuse कर लेते हैं that everything is going. Just wait for a second. Yeah. So बहुत बार हम 90 days से ही confuse कर लेते हैं, but that is not the case. Here we are not asking you for NPA, we are asking you relation to overdue, right? हम overdue के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. Next is if a government guaranteed account turns into NPA. Why this question has been included? So that you are not confused in such kind of statements as well. If a government guaranteed account NPA में turn हो जाता है, then the interest income on that can be recorded in income account, should not be taken to income account. Charge should be created. Due to government guarantee, it would be treated as a standard asset. 4 options are there with you and you have to identify the correct one. See, even if you have government guarantee in relation to this, if an asset has turned into NPA, interest income on that should not be taken to income account. See, normally what happens is, suppose I have given loan to somebody, 10 lakh rupees is the base amount and I have given it on interest for 10%, right? So every month I am going to take 10,000 rupees as my income. मैं बोल दूंगी कि हाँ भैया जो है इतना मेरा है income हो गया है. Fine. Now in this particular case, sorry, 1 lakh rupees I am going to treat as my income every month. But in case of NPA, you are witnessing that this account is problematic. आपको इससे पैसा नहीं मिलने वाला है. You are not going to receive money out of it. Then what you should do? Recording income in that case on accrual basis is incorrect. ठीक है, आपको फिर तब इनकम तभी रिकॉग्नाइज करनी चाहिए जब आपको कैश में मिल जाए. दिस इज इन रिलेशन टू एनपीए. एनपीए के रिलेशनशिप में है कि अगर आपको एनपीए से रिलेटेड इनकम कैश में मिल रही है आप तभी रिकॉग्नाइज करेंगे, अदरवाइज यू आर नॉट गोइंग टू रिकॉग्नाइज इट, राइट? नाउ फीस एंड कमीशन अर्न्ड बाय द बैंक्स as a result of renegotiations or rescheduling of outstanding debts. Have I discussed that or not? Yeah, so the correct answer over here is it should not be taken to income account. क्योंकि we'll take it to the income account only when we are receiving cash for it. जब हमको कैश मिलेगा तभी हम रिकॉर्ड करेंगे, otherwise we are not going to record it. Now next is fees and commission earned by the banks as a result of renegotiations or rescheduling of outstanding debts. आपका outstanding debt है, हम reschedule कर रहे हैं, obviously that is not going to be done for free. ठीक है, that is not going to be done for free. So that is something we can recognize on accrual basis, because yes, this is associated with NPA. Yes, this is associated with NPA, but these kind of things you can record on accrual basis, because we do not have any kind of doubt regarding collectibility of this amount. हमारे पास में ऐसा कोई डाउट नहीं है कि हमें ये नहीं मिलेगा, ठीक है? So when you should not recognize any income, देखो एक अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड होता है इनकम रिकॉग्निशन पे. सो दैट अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड सेज यू शुड नॉट रिकॉग्नाइज एनी पर्टिकुलर इनकम इफ यू हैव गॉट डाउट एसोसिएटेड विद दैट. ठीक है, अगर आपको उसके कलेक्शन पर डाउट है, इफ यू आर डाउटफुल अबाउट द कलेक्शन ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर इनकम, यू शुड नॉट रिकॉर्ड इट, right? You should not take it into your income account. So that is something I am suggesting over here. Is fees or commission से related, we do not have any kind of doubt, right? Now next question, in cases of loans where moratorium has been granted for repayment of interest, you remember during the time of COVID people were granted moratorium, let's say for 3 months कि 3 महीने में आपको जो है नहीं देना है, EMI आपको नहीं देना पड़ेगा, because that was the troubled period for everybody and we have granted the people, banks have granted moratorium to the people because that was government induced. Now you see, so for repayment interest income may be recognized on, कैसे recognize करेंगे हम income? For the loans for which we have granted the moratorium, accrual basis, cash basis, accrual basis for the assets which have been classified as doubtful, accrual basis for the accounts which has been classified as standard. So the correct option out of these is accrual basis, but accrual basis can only happen for the assets which are standard. ठीक है, अगर कोई asset doubtful है तो वहां पे हम accrual basis पे कैसे करें, right? How we can proceed for that particular asset on accrual basis? Okay, cash basis which continue to be classified as standard. So standard asset के लिए तो हम accrual basis पे ही करते हैं, cash basis पे नहीं करते हैं. So yeah, that is the correct answer. Now if loans with moratorium on payment of interest permitted at the time of sanction of loan becomes NPA, after the moratorium period is over, then the capitalized interest, if any, corresponding to the interest accrued during such moratorium period, what should we do? See, यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है, there was a loan that we have given and for that loan we have given a moratorium period कि आप इस period में you don't need to pay the interest, right? आपको यहाँ पे interest pay करने की जरूरत नहीं है. Now as soon as the moratorium period ended, that asset became an NPA. ठीक है, जैसे ही मोरेटोरियम पीरियड एंड हुआ वो असेट अब क्या बन गई, एनपीए. तो वंस दैट असेट हैज बिकम एनपीए, दे आर आस्किंग व्हाट वी शुड डू अबाउट दिस इंटरेस्ट. हमको इस इंटरेस्ट के बारे में, हम इस इंटरेस्ट को लेके क्या करें, राइट? व्हाट शुड वी डू अबाउट इट? सो एंटायर इंटरेस्ट शुड बी रिवर्स्ड, capitalized interest should be reversed, capitalized interest need not be reversed, none of the above. So you don't need to reverse it. See, if loans with moratorium on payment of interest that was given at the time of sanction, if it becomes NPA after the moratorium period is over, you don't need to reverse such capitalized interest because that interest you have already taken towards your capital and अभी आपको वो reverse करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. Next is classification of an asset as an NPA should be done on the basis of, किसी भी asset को हम non performing asset कब declare करते हैं? When do we declare such kind of assets as non performing? So I have given you certain options: record of recovery, non availability of adequate drawing power, balance outstanding exceeding the limit temporarily, right? So in this particular case, this is the option which holds true every time. रिकॉर्ड ऑफ रिकवरी. तो एनपीए जो है वो हमेशा रिकॉर्ड ऑफ रिकवरी के बेसिस पे डिक्लेयर किया जाता है, वेदर यू आर एबल टू पे अस द अमाउंट और नॉट. अगर आप नहीं पे कर पा रहे हो तब हम इसको क्या करेंगे, एनपीए डिक्लेयर कर देंगे. So classification of asset as an NPA should be based on the record of recovery. Bank should not classify an advance account as NPA merely of some deficiencies like non-availability of adequate drawing power, balance outstanding exceeding the limit temporarily, non-submission of stock statements, etc. Now a working capital borrower account will become NPA if irregular drawings are permitted for a continuous period of 90 days. So if there has been limit of finance which has been provided to you in relation to working capital and you are withdrawing the amount, आप अमाउंट विड्रॉ कर रहे हैं, right, irregularly, that is not matching to the limit that has been allocated to you and this continues for a period of 90 days, in that particular situation we will classify you as NPA. Now bank should ensure that the drawings in the working capital are covered adequately by current assets. For example, the stock. कई बार वर्किंग कैपिटल लिमिट जो आपको एलोकेट की जाती है दैट इज बेस्ड ऑन द स्टॉक दैट यू आर हैविंग. ठीक है, आपके स्टॉक्स के बेसिस पे दिया जाता है. नाउ योर स्टॉक्स आर ड्विंडलिंग, राइट? Your stocks are not covering the limit that we have granted to you. Since current assets are first appropriated in times of distress, क्योंकि अगर कभी भी आपको प्रॉब्लम हो गई सबसे पहले आप अपनी current assets बेचोगे, right? We are not going to sell land and building first. We will try to sell the stocks at runaway prices, right? That is our first instinct. So drawing power is required to be arrived at based on the stock statement which is current. However, considering the difficulties, stock statements really relied upon by the banks for determining the power should not be older than the 3 months. Okay. Now next is the loan account classified as NPA may be upgraded as standard asset only if, कब हम एक एनपीए को स्टैंडर्ड असेट में कन्वर्ट कर देंगे, ओनली एंड ओनली इफ द होल अरियर ऑफ इंटरेस्ट एंड प्रिंसिपल इज पेड बाय द बोरोवर, राइट? एंटायर अरियर्स ऑफ योर प्रिंसिपल एज वेल एज इंटरेस्ट इज पेड बाय द बोरोवर, तभी हम उसको एनपीए से स्टैंडर्ड कर देंगे. नाउ इन रिलेशन टू अनसिक्योर्ड पोर्शन of an NPA which is in doubtful category for 2 years, What is the provision amount? It is 100%. Why? Because we are talking about unsecured portion. हम unsecured portion के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं and इसीलिए provision आपका 100% होगा. Now if principal or interest payment or any other amount wholly or partially remains due for 75 days, in which category you are going to classify it? Special mention 1, special mention 2. See this. So we have special mention accounts, right? And banks can classify onto the basis of the duration for which they remain due, 1 to 30 days, 31 to 60 days, 61 to 90 days, and these are the categories. ये आपकी क्या हो गई? Category, right? So yes, it is. SMA 2 is the answer. Now a loan for an infrastructure project will be classified as an NPA if it fails to commence commercial operation within 2 years. अगर आपने किसी infrastructure organization को लोन दिया है, right? And if it fails to commence its operations within 2 years, you have to classify it as an NPA, even if they are paying you regular installments. भले ही वो आपको रेगुलर इंस्टॉलमेंट्स दे रहे हो, बट यू हैव टू क्लासिफाई such kind of asset as NPA because they have been unable to start the project. Now the rationale behind this is that if they haven't started the project, they are not earning the revenue. Revenue earn नहीं कर रहे हैं, they are utilizing their capital to repay you, and this business is not viable. If not today, tomorrow it is going to turn into NPA. So this is a prudent decision that has been recommended by RBI. ठीक है कि आपको जब दिख रहा है that this particular asset is going to turn into NPA because they are consuming their capital, right? Now next is erosion in the value of security can be reckoned as significant when realizable value of the security is assessed by the bank at the time of last inspection. Such NPA may be straight away classified under doubtful category. मतलब कि आप सीधा doubtful category में classify कर दोगे ऐसे NPAs को if the security that they have provided there is a fall in the value of that particular security, right? So when the realizable value of the security is less than 50% of the value assessed by the bank, ठीक है, उसकी value इतनी गिर गई है, in that case please classify directly it as a doubtful category. And if the realizable value of the security as assessed by the bank is less than 10% of the outstanding in the borrowed account, मतलब कि आपने जितना आपने लोन दिया है और जो सिक्योरिटी दी गई है उसकी वैल्यू बस अब 10% बची है, then such assets should directly be classified as loss assets. ठीक है, इस तरीके की assets को loss assets classify करें. Why? Because you do not have enough security to cover for that. आप cover कर ही नहीं सकते हैं. So that's what, if the realizable value as assessed by the bank is less than 10% of the outstanding in the borrowed account, existing security is ignored and asset should be straight away classified as loss asset. So these are some of the questions that we wanted to discuss today. Please stay tuned for tomorrow. We are going to discuss few more advanced level of questions in relation to IRAC norms. Thank you so much for today.